What if everything you've been told about your mind is just the surface of a much deeper mystery? Recently declassified CIA documents reveal a startling truth. For decades, the U.S. government poured millions into secret experiments to unlock the true potential of human consciousness. While mainstream science insisted your mind is trapped in your skull, a prisoner of your brain, CIA researchers discovered something else entirely. They found that consciousness isn't confined by bone and tissue. It's an energy field that extends far beyond your physical body. Even more shocking, they concluded that your thoughts and emotions aren't just reactions to the world. They actively shape the quantum scaffolding of reality itself. Your private daydreams and fears are subtle chisels, carving new contours in the fabric of existence. But how could ordinary people access these extraordinary abilities? The CIA's answer came through something called the gateway process, a system using advanced sound technology to synchronize the hemispheres of the brain and unlock hidden states of consciousness. At the heart of this system was a revolutionary technology called Hemi-Sync, developed by sound engineer Robert Monroe. By playing slightly different tones in each ear, it creates a third binaural beat inside your mind, forcing your brainwaves to synchronize and shifting you into powerful altered states. While the public received watered-down versions for relaxation or creativity, the CIA pushed further, developing a systematic path to states where consciousness could detach from the body, access universal knowledge, and even interact with other dimensions of reality. The CIA identified 4 key focus levels, gateways to extraordinary mind states most people never experience in their lifetime. These weren't just subjective experiences, but doorways to demonstrable abilities that defied conventional understanding of human potential. The first threshold, Focus 10, is where your body sleeps while your mind remains perfectly awake and alert. Participants reported instant recall of long-forgotten memories, surges in pattern recognition, and accelerated healing. Problems that had puzzled them for years suddenly unraveled effortlessly. But this was just the beginning. In Focus 12, consciousness expands beyond personal awareness to tap into what CIA researchers called the Absolute, a universal source of knowledge. Participants could sense distant events, glimpse the future, and intuitively grasp complex concepts far beyond their training or education. Deeper still was Focus 15, No Time, a state where past, present, and future exist simultaneously. The normal flow of time dissolves. Participants could vividly relive any memory, or potentially glimpse events that hadn't yet occurred. One internal report noted, Focus 15 is not escapism. It is a mental vantage point from which time's arrow appears bent or irrelevant. The final frontier, Focus 21, was described as a bridge between physical and non-physical reality, a state where consciousness could interact with other dimensions and intelligences. In this rarefied state, participants reported conversing with beings lacking human form and absorbing knowledge that defied language. as if stepping into a cosmic marketplace of ideas no textbook has ever charted. The most shocking aspect of these discoveries isn't what they revealed about consciousness, but the fact they were hidden from the public for decades. Why would such transformative research be classified? What were they afraid we might discover about our own potential? Perhaps because the same research that promised liberation also revealed vulnerabilities. The CIA's notorious MK-Ultra program explored darker applications, attempting to manipulate minds through the same doorways that could lead to freedom. When you're in these altered states, your mind becomes extraordinarily open to suggestion. Now the choice is yours. In the coming segments, we'll explore each focus state in detail, not just as historical curiosities, but as practical technologies you can use to expand your own consciousness. The gateway process wasn't just about psychic abilities. It revealed tools for healing, creativity, problem-solving, and touching the fabric of reality itself. What if the greatest prison isn't built of stone and steel, but of limiting beliefs about what your mind can do? These classified documents don't just challenge scientific orthodoxy. They offer a practical roadmap to capabilities you were born with, but taught to forget. Are you ready to remember? Let's step deeper into the gateway process. In 1983, the CIA commissioned an analysis by Army intelligence officer Wayne McDonnell. His declassified report confirmed what mainstream science still struggles to accept. Consciousness is not merely a product of the brain, but a form of energy that can transcend physical boundaries. McDonnell's report linked CIA findings to the universal hologram theory, the idea that our reality might operate like a massive three-dimensional projection. More shocking still was the suggestion that our minds aren't merely passive observers of this projection, but active participants, both receivers and projectors simultaneously. The Hemi-Sync technology at the core of the gateway process wasn't developed by government scientists, but by a sound engineer named Robert Monroe. After experiencing spontaneous out-of-body states in the 1950s, Monroe dedicated his life to mapping these extraordinary realms of consciousness and creating reliable methods for others to access them. Monroe discovered that playing slightly different frequencies in each ear creates a third binaural beat perceived at the difference between the two tones. This beat doesn't exist in the external sound. It's generated by your brain as it struggles to reconcile the difference. This neurological phenomenon forces your brain hemispheres to work in tandem, producing synchronized brainwave patterns associated with deep meditation, healing, and expanded awareness. While mainstream meditation techniques might take decades to master, Hemi-Sync offered a shortcut, allowing even novices to achieve profound states within minutes. The CIA recognized this technology wasn't just for relaxation. It was a potential key to extraordinary human capabilities, including remote viewing, healing at a distance, and accessing what they termed non-local consciousness, awareness that extends beyond the physical body. Let's explore each focus state in greater depth, beginning with Focus 10, Mind Awake, Body Asleep. This first threshold creates an unusual dichotomy where your physical form enters deep relaxation, while your mental awareness becomes heightened beyond normal waking consciousness. Your body's signals fade from awareness as your mind expands into new territory. In Focus 10, participants consistently reported extraordinary memory recall, accessing childhood experiences with crystal clarity, down to smells, emotions, and minute details long forgotten by the conscious mind. The CIA documents describe subjects uncovering vivid childhood details and solving problems that had baffled them for years. It's as if the noise of physical sensation normally drowns out access to these deeper mental archives. Perhaps most intriguing were the documented physical benefits. The CIA noted accelerated healing when subjects used Focus 10 regularly. While in this state, participants could direct healing energy to specific body parts, reduce inflammation, and even influence involuntary systems normally beyond conscious control. One report mentioned subjects lowering heart rates, controlling blood flow, and enhancing immune responses with remarkable precision. Moving deeper, Focus 12, Expanded Awareness, represents a profound shift. While Focus 10 enhances what's already in your mind, Focus 12 allows consciousness to extend outward, accessing information beyond your personal knowledge or experience. The boundaries between self and universe begin to blur as you tap into what Monroe called the I-there consciousness, awareness beyond the limitations of your physical existence. CIA researchers documented cases of participants spontaneously understanding complex scientific or mathematical concepts they had never studied. In one case, a subject with no engineering background sketched a solution to a technical problem that had stumped specialists for months. When questioned, she couldn't explain how she knew, stating simply that the answer presented itself completely formed when she entered Focus 12. The CIA's interest in Focus 12 intensified around potential applications for remote viewing, the ability to perceive distant locations or objects without physical presence. Declassified documents describe remarkable success rates as subjects accurately described hidden targets, secret facilities, and even events occurring thousands of miles away. Some subjects could draw detailed sketches of locations they had never visited, complete with specific architectural features later verified as accurate. Focus 15, No Time, represents a state where the linear perception of time dissolves completely. Participants described experiencing past, present, and future simultaneously, rather than sequentially. The CIA report notes, in this state, events are not perceived as snapshots in sequence, but as coexisting points in a vast landscape that can be accessed at will. Subjects reported vivid memories of events that hadn't yet occurred in physical reality. While skeptics might dismiss these as mere imagination, the CIA documented instances of accurate future memories, predictions that later came to pass exactly as described. One subject reportedly described in precise detail a technological breakthrough that wouldn't occur for another 3 years. When questioned about this apparent precognition ability, participants often expressed confusion, saying the future events felt just as real and accessible as past memories. Finally, the most advanced state, Focus 21, Other Energy Systems, allows consciousness to interact with what researchers described as separate reality systems. This isn't just about perceiving information, but actively engaging with intelligences and dimensions beyond our ordinary reality. The CIA reports suggest this state enables communication with non-human entities and access to forms of knowledge structured entirely differently from human understanding. The reports about Focus 21 experiences become increasingly difficult to express in conventional language. Subjects described encountering beings that lacked physical form, but possessed distinct identities and vast intelligence. Communication occurred through direct transmission of concept packages rather than words. One researcher noted, participants didn't merely imagine other dimensions. They reported conversing with intelligent entities lacking human form, absorbing knowledge that defied language. But these advanced states weren't always blissful. The documents acknowledge disturbing encounters and psychological risks. One internal report describes a volunteer emerging from Focus 21, trembling, insisting she'd glimpsed shadow entities and heard eerie whispers in an unfamiliar tongue. These accounts remind us that exploring consciousness isn't just about accessing wonder and knowledge. There may be psychological territories as challenging as the deepest ocean trenches. The CIA's interest in consciousness wasn't always benevolent. The infamous MK-Ultra program, running from the 1950s through the early 1970s, explored darker applications, using drugs, hypnosis, isolation, and various psychological techniques to manipulate minds. While gateway process research focused on voluntary expansion of consciousness, MK-Ultra sought control over unwitting subjects, often violating basic ethical principles and human rights. The intersection of these programs reveals a disturbing truth. The same states that unlock our highest potential also create vulnerability. When in deep, altered states of consciousness, the mind becomes extraordinarily receptive to suggestion. What spiritual traditions view as openness to higher wisdom, MK-Ultra researchers saw as an opportunity to implant false memories, manipulate behavior, and potentially create programmed responses that bypass conscious will. But let's shift focus to more recent research that suggests even our ordinary consciousness may have extraordinary effects on physical reality. The Global Consciousness Project, running since 1998, uses random number generators, RNGs, placed around the world to test whether collective human attention can influence their output. During major global events that focus millions of minds on the same thing, like the 9/11 attacks or royal weddings, these RNGs show statistically significant deviations from randomness. The statistical significance of these findings is staggering. Scientists calculate the odds of these results occurring by chance at more than 1,000,000,000,000 to 1. This doesn't just suggest consciousness affects reality. It provides measurable, reproducible evidence that our collective attention creates ripples in the fundamental randomness of the physical world. The implications extend far beyond ESP or psychic phenomena, touching the very foundation of our understanding of consciousness, matter, and reality. So how can you apply these discoveries to your everyday life? The gateway process techniques aren't just for psychic exploration or contacting non-physical entities. Participants reported practical benefits that transformed their daily experience. Enhanced problem solving, accelerated learning, improved health, reduced stress, and deeper connections with others. These benefits don't require belief in paranormal phenomena. They're accessible regardless of your perspective on the metaphysical implications. Take problem solving, for example. By accessing Focus 10, you can temporarily silence the body's distractions and heighten mental clarity. The CIA documents describe subjects entering this state when faced with complex challenges, finding that solutions would often present themselves fully formed after just minutes in the altered state. Engineers, artists, scientists, all have reported profound insights emerging from this state, and business leaders who've learned these techniques report breakthroughs that seemed impossible during normal consciousness. For health and healing, Focus 10 and 12 offer remarkable tools. The documents describe participants learning to direct energy to specific parts of the body, potentially accelerating healing and reducing pain. While this shouldn't replace medical treatment, numerous studies confirm that visualization and altered states can significantly impact physical health outcomes. Some healthcare facilities now incorporate these techniques as complementary approaches alongside conventional medicine. Today's technology makes these practices more accessible than ever. Modern Hemi-Sync programs are available through apps and online platforms, using the same core technology developed for the gateway process. You don't need a CIA clearance or years of meditation practice to begin exploring these states. Just headphones, guidance, and an open mind. Many users report significant benefits within their first few sessions. As we look to the future, these declassified documents hint at something extraordinary: the potential evolution of human consciousness itself. Some researchers speculate we might be witnessing the early stages of what they term an Internet of Minds, direct consciousness connections between people that transcend physical proximity. The Global Consciousness Project provides tantalizing evidence that we're already more connected than we realize. Our collective attention changing the very fabric of physical reality. So we stand at a remarkable juncture. The declassified CIA documents reveal that what was once considered mystical nonsense has substantial scientific basis. Your mind isn't trapped in your skull. It's an energy field that interacts with and shapes reality. The gateway to your expanded potential isn't in some distant future or accessible only to the gifted few. It's available right now, waiting for you to step through. In our final segment, we'll guide you through a practical gateway process experience, adapted from the original CIA protocols. You'll learn how to access Focus 10 safely and begin exploring the extraordinary capacities hidden within your own consciousness. The universe's deepest secrets aren't locked away in government vaults. They're waiting within your mind, accessible through the doorway these declassified documents have revealed. The choice to explore these extraordinary states is now yours. Are you ready to discover what lies beyond the boundaries of ordinary consciousness? To reclaim abilities that may be your birthright? Join us in the next segment as we take the first steps beyond the gateway the CIA discovered decades ago, but kept hidden until now. Now let's prepare for your first gateway experience. Begin by finding a quiet space where you won't be disturbed for at least 30 minutes. While advanced practitioners can enter these states anywhere, beginners benefit from a controlled environment. Turn off phones and notifications. Dim the lights, but don't make the room completely dark. Sit in a comfortable position that allows your body to fully relax without falling asleep. The original gateway process used specialized Hemi-Sync audio, but you can start with widely available binaural beat recordings designed for meditation. These should feature slightly different frequencies in each ear, ideally producing a beat in the theta range, between 4 to 7 Hz. This frequency range naturally occurs during deep meditation and is associated with heightened creativity, intuitive insights, and access to the subconscious mind. Start with progressive relaxation, the first step in the gateway protocol. Beginning with your toes and moving upward, tense each muscle group for 5 to 10 seconds. Then release completely. Feel the difference between tension and relaxation. Move through your entire body this way: feet, calves, thighs, abdomen, chest, hands, arms, shoulders, neck, and finally your face and scalp. This creates a clear distinction between mind and body, the foundation of Focus 10. Now, create what gateway documents call the energy balloon, a protective envelope around your body. Visualize white or golden light surrounding you completely, forming a protective cocoon. The CIA protocols emphasize this step for both psychic protection and to help the mind establish a clear boundary between physical and non-physical awareness. Take several minutes to build and strengthen this energy field around you. Next, begin the resonant tuning technique described in the gateway manuals. Take 3 deep breaths, then make a humming sound, letting it resonate throughout your entire body. Feel the vibration in your chest, throat, and head. This vibration helps shift your brain waves towards synchronization. After several minutes of this resonant humming, mentally repeat the affirmation: "My body is now asleep. My mind is awake and alert." You're beginning to enter Focus 10. As you enter Focus 10, you'll likely notice a distinct shift in body awareness. Many describe a pleasant numbness or heaviness. Some report tingling sensations or feeling like they're floating. Others describe their body as disappeared from awareness. These are all normal signs of the mind-body separation occurring. If your body remains too present in awareness, simply return to the progressive relaxation steps until physical sensations fade from the foreground of your consciousness. Now let's explore one of Focus 10's most remarkable capabilities: enhanced memory access. CIA subjects consistently reported unprecedented clarity of recall in this state. Think of a period from your childhood, perhaps between ages 5 to 8. Rather than trying to force specific memories, simply open your awareness to that time period. Notice how memories may arise with unusual vividness, complete with sounds, smells, and emotional impressions that typically fade in normal recall. Focus 10 also dramatically enhances problem-solving abilities. Think of a current challenge in your life, personal or professional. As you hold this problem in your awareness, notice how your perspective may shift. Solutions often appear not through linear thinking, but as complete insights. The CIA documents describe this phenomenon as whole pattern recognition, seeing interconnections that remain invisible during normal consciousness. The Gateway documents also detail remarkable healing potential in Focus 10. While maintaining this state, bring awareness to any area of your body needing attention. Visualize healing energy, whatever that means to you, flowing to this area. The CIA research noted participants could influence autoimmune responses, accelerate healing of injuries, and even modulate chronic pain in this state. Your intention becomes a powerful director of your body's innate healing capabilities. To return from Focus 10, follow the CIA's reintegration protocol. Count slowly from 1 to 5, affirming, "I am returning to full physical consciousness, feeling alert and refreshed." At 5, gently move your fingers and toes. Take a deep breath and open your eyes. Many participants report feeling extraordinarily refreshed, as if they've had hours of deep rest in just 30 minutes. More importantly, insights gained in Focus 10 remain accessible, often with greater clarity than typical meditation experiences. With regular practice of Focus 10, you can begin exploring Focus 12, expanded awareness. This state allows consciousness to extend beyond personal boundaries. The transition often begins with a sense of expansion, as if your awareness suddenly extends beyond your energy balloon. Many report a distinct feeling of connecting to something vast. Some describe it as tapping into a field of knowledge or experiencing a universal database. You're beginning to access what the CIA researchers called non-local consciousness. Important warning: while these states offer extraordinary benefits, the CIA documents also acknowledge potential risks. Some participants reported encountering frightening experiences or entities. Others found emotions could become overwhelming. A small percentage experienced disorientation after returning to normal consciousness. If you encounter any distressing content, immediately use the reintegration method we discussed. Always practice grounding techniques after these sessions, and never force progression to deeper states before you're comfortable with preliminary levels. What makes the CIA's findings so remarkable is how they bridge ancient wisdom and cutting-edge science. Today's neuroscience increasingly confirms what the Declassified documents suggested decades ago. Studies using fMRI and EEG show distinct brainwave patterns during states like Focus 10 and 12 that correlate with enhanced problem-solving, creativity, and perception. The quantum physics principles behind the universal hologram theory are finding support in emerging models of consciousness that recognize its non-local properties. It's worth noting that many spiritual traditions independently discovered similar states to those mapped by the gateway process. Tibetan dream yoga, advanced Vipassana meditation, Sufi mystical practices, and shamanic journeying all describe remarkably similar phenomena to Focus 10, 12, 15, and 21. What the CIA contributed was a systematic, technology-assisted approach that could reliably reproduce these states without years of disciplined practice, essentially democratizing access to extraordinary consciousness. The ultimate goal isn't to escape ordinary life, but to transform it by integrating these expanded states into everyday consciousness. Regular gateway process practitioners report lasting changes that continue even when not actively in meditation. Heightened intuition, increased synchronicities, deeper interpersonal connections, reduced anxiety about death, and a profound sense of meaning and purpose. Your ordinary consciousness begins to carry elements of these extraordinary states, creating what one CIA researcher called a new baseline of awareness. As we conclude, consider the implications of these declassified revelations extending beyond individual experience. The Global Consciousness Project suggests our minds are already more connected than we realize. What might happen if millions of people began consciously developing these expanded states? Could we collectively influence the world in positive ways? Is this the beginning of the next stage in human consciousness evolution? The choice now lies before you. Will you accept the outdated notion that your mind is merely brain activity trapped within your skull? Or will you explore what these declassified documents reveal? That your consciousness might be a field of energy capable of extending beyond physical limitations, accessing universal knowledge, and perhaps even influencing reality itself. The gateway stands open. The journey awaits. These declassified CIA documents have finally revealed what governments kept hidden for decades. Not weapons or political secrets, but the extraordinary potential within your own consciousness. Perhaps the most profound discovery isn't found in distant galaxies or subatomic particles, but in the unexplored depths of the human mind. The most important frontier isn't external space, but inner space, and you hold the key to this territory within you. In the words contained in one declassified document, the technique you've learned isn't just an academic exercise. It's the key to your liberation. Your consciousness can shape perception, connect to universal fields of energy, and even rewrite what you call reality. The evidence has been hidden in plain sight. The tools are now in your hands. The journey into extraordinary consciousness begins with your next breath.